there, this is Karen with inspiredbygraham.com. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be making this beautiful hydrangea card. It's just gorgeous with all these little die cuts here and the tri-colored purple ribbon here. This is a thank you card and it uses lots of purple colors, as you can tell. And we do a little bit of stamping in the background and our message on the top layer there. So, all right, we're gonna get started creating the card. It's just gorgeous. This is one of my cards I'm featuring in my monthly card club for March. So you'll get all these little pieces. Now on this card, you've got a lot of pieces, and there's lots of little ones in here too. So I'll have these all packaged nicely, especially those little die cuts. Most likely will be in a little Ziploc bag, so you wouldn't lose those. But in any event, let's make the card. So this is Gorgeous Grape. It's a deep purple color. And I've cut it 4 1/4 by 11, and I'm going to burnish it here. I've got it at 5 1/2 inches. Okay, so that's your card base. And then the next layer up is the Hydrangea Hill Designer Series paper. And then you've got another, this is cut 4 by 5 1/4. And then you've got another one here, which is just gorgeous. It's got the beautiful hydrangeas on it. It is a certain pattern on it, so you got to make sure when you're laying your paper down that it's going in the correct direction. This is cut 3 and 5 1/4 inches. Now you could mix and match our papers very easily. So you could flip this one over and do it this way, and it still looks really gorgeous, or you could just keep it this way and create your card this way and have lots of different purples. But I just love this hydrangea pattern, so I'm gonna have that as the top showing out. So we're gonna layer this onto the Gorgeous Grape, and I'm using multi-purpose liquid glue. I'm just kind of running it all the way around the edges and then just a little bit down the middle, and we're just gonna layer this right on top of that Gorgeous Grape purple cardstock with a 1/4 inch border about on all 4 sides there. Just so super simple. Now this piece, I thought I would pop it up for a little bit of dimension. So what you need to do is you'll need to have your dimensionals. And in my card club, you'll be receiving some dimensionals, which is really awesome because I don't always do that. But once in a while I do, just because I know my members will probably most likely be running out of dimensionals. All right, so because we use them a lot in our card making. All right, so we've got 5 on there. I'm just gonna press on my fingernail down or thumbnail down real secure so that gives it a little pop of those backings here, and you can easily peel them off from the back side. And then we're gonna just layer this right over top, making sure the pattern is in the correct direction. This one is got that foliage piece right here, so you can see the stem, so we know that this is going in the correct direction. I'm just gonna layer this right over top of the other Hydrangea Hill Designer Series paper, and I'm just gonna put it right down in the middle. And then the next step would be to add on this hydrangea. Now, this is a die cut that you'll receive in March Card Club, and it's really simple just to poke up these little leaves here to give them some life. You can use your thumbnails like this, or you can use take your pick tool. And to do it, I use the little pointy sharp end, and from the back side, I push just going forward like this. Okay, so that way they get released from the paper, and they do give the element a little bit more life rather than just being flat. So just like that. Looks like I need to put one over here. Just let's poke those up there like that. Okay, so super gorgeous and very lifelike if you ask me. Now we're gonna add this right here to the top of the card. Again, I'm gonna use like 2 dimensionals should be fine. I wanted to give it some height and dimension. Actually, I'm going to give it 3 just because it is a little bit larger, and we don't want it to buckle down. So all those backings are off. And now I'm just gonna layer this right up here at the more up the top like that. The next piece is this little die cut here in Mossy Meadow, and it goes this way here. I'm going to use multi-purpose liquid glue. You could use adhesive sheets if you had them, if you had the die cuts and you had this set on your own. I'm using the Hydrangea Haven stamp set and the Hydrangea dies in March Card Club. Now you don't need to have this stamp set or dies, especially the dies, because I already do all that die cutting, but you can add it on. Every month I have an add-on if you wanted to make the cards the certain way I make them. Well, then you would need to have all that product, but not necessarily, you know, you can get away with it with a lot of times with your own products. So I'm just going to slide this leaf. I want to get it underneath that hydrangea. And let me just get my take your pick tool here. I'm going to lift this up. There we go. I'm sliding it right underneath. And that liquid glue really holds nicely and it secures very quickly. All right, so then there's another little piece inside your kit, and it's another die cut from the set, and we're going to stamp thank you on it. Now, we are working with photopolymer stamps, so we need our little Stampin' Pierce mat. All right, so we've got this here. I'm going to be using, let's see, Gorgeous Grape ink, which is the dark color of purple in the cardstock in the end of the hydrangea itself. Now I want the little stamp that says thank you. It's so super small, so I'll show you once I get it stamped on here, hopefully correct. Okay, very, very tiny, but very, very sweet if you ask me. Okay, so that's that stamping. Since we're stamping, let's go ahead and pull in our inside panel here. You're going to, I did it like this. Let me just show you the inside of the card. I'm not sure if I showed it to you. I've got some background stamping here, and we've got our sentiment over top. So I need to actually grab some scrap paper, which I forgot to get, because we need to stamp off this. We need to make a lighter shade of purple. So I'm just gonna ink that stamp up, stamp off, and then I'm gonna stamp a lighter shade of that Gorgeous Grape right as a background. Then we're gonna take our message stamp, I appreciate all the little things you do, and we're gonna ink that up in full strength, and we're gonna just stamp right over top of those little flowers, and it just adds a nice little background and something different. Since we're working with this one, let's bring in this piece of Designer Series paper. It's cut 3/4 of an inch by 4. So we're just gonna add this on the inside so that we have all of our paper coordinating all the way through on the card. So I like to add mine down at the bottom, and I like to also give it a little bit of weight showing through towards the bottom. Now this piece is just a little bit longer, so we're just going to take the paper snips and just give it a little haircut, and that way it's all flush to the right and the left side of the card. All right, since I've got this one, we're going to add a little bit of that liquid glue, and we will bring in our card here, and let's add this right to the inside. Love how all these purples really go nicely together. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to add all the little petals here. This process is super easy, and it doesn't really take too much time, but you kind of just take these little die cuts. They're really small like this, and you're just going to use your liquid glue. I die cut them in Highland Heather. It's a lighter shade of purple, and you're just gonna kind of go and add them on wherever you want. And we can add, I don't know how many I'll add on, but you could also use glue dots too if you didn't want to have liquid glue. Definitely you could try some of that, your glue dots. So I'm just adding a little bit of that liquid glue. You can use your take your pick tool as well to hold it in place. There we go. Or what you can also do, if you find it easier, you could just dot your paper wherever there's a, you know, a more of a solid piece of cardstock. And now you can just take the dies, little die cuts, put them on there, and then just keep simply putting them throughout your card. Now let me get a purple one. Since I got two white next to each other, let's give it some more color there. Use my tool. And then we've got another one down here. And let's add another white one right over here. So what you're doing is you're just kind of making this hydrangea look even more beautiful, of course, because we're adding more elements to it, but it is getting a little bit more lifelike with all these little petals here. Let me just add one. That one needs to go. Okay, so very delicate card. But once you get all these little pieces on, then it's gonna look gorgeous. Oops, I want a white one on that one. So just keep adding all the little petals on until you get them all on. So I think I die cut, I'm not exactly sure how many petals I die cut in the example here. I think the die has, I don't have it with me, but I'm gonna say there's probably like, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think there's like probably 15 or so that I like added on the original card. But it doesn't take super long to add all these on, like I said earlier. So we're just gonna keep adding them on, and then I'm gonna go one last time to give it a good press with my take your pick tool, and then we should call it good. So let's add another white one up there. And hydrangeas are in so many different colors. I actually, last fall, I planted a hydrangea at our house. We moved here about, I don't know, a little over 4 years ago in 2016. And where I used to live, we had a beautiful hydrangea and I couldn't take it with us. So I bought one last year and we planted it in the fall, of course. And I'm hoping it is still alive. It's still kind of winter here where I live in Vermont. So it's a little challenging this time of year. And I noticed we had some pretty bad snow and like a month ago, and then it got really icy on top. So they're like 3 inches of ice, and the deer are really having a hard time eating and finding food. And I noticed it came down to try to nibble away at my new hydrangea. So hopefully it didn't damage it too much. So what I'm doing is I'm taking my clear block and I'm just pressing the little petals down so I know that they're secure. It takes a good 5 minutes for those to dry, but once you have them dry, you're going to add the pearls on. Before I do that, I've got this little die cut here, which I want to kind of sneak up inside here as a little like tag. So I'm going to angle cut it like this. We'll cut that right off. And then we're going to slide it up underneath there. I'm going to use a dimensional to give it the same height as the hydrangea. Okay, And I got that stupid, that little stupid little, it's not stupid, but it was being stuck to my finger. I didn't really like that. Okay, so I'm going to angle cut it. I angle cut it, and now I'm going to line it up with the stem at an angle, okay, because it goes nicely against the mossy meadow. And let me just show you. Oh, I didn't take the backing off. Sorry about that. All right, so we're going to just slide it up at an angle against the stem of the foliage there, so it goes straight down like that with a cardstock. Okay, so then the next thing I want to do is I'm going to, since these are still drying, I already created a bow with a colored purple ribbon. It's gorgeous. It makes really nice bows. And I added a glue dot. We're going to add this right down here to where it all meets. Now we know those are super long and we need to trim them off. So I'm going to bring in my scissors here. These are just for ribbon. I'm going to angle cut the ribbon. We want a really dainty bow on this one. Okay. And then, okay, that's looking pretty good. In Card Club for this month, I'm featuring the basic pearls. And these look awesome on this card. So I thought I would just splatter or sprinkle some of these. You're not going to fill all of them, but if you add maybe like 5 of these little pearls throughout that hydrangea, it just adds so much more to the cards. So we're going to just keep, let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's add 7 because we need some over on the left side as well. So one more here. Okay, so that is our card, and it is one of my cards that is featured in my card club. So let's show you the one I had made earlier here, and then here's the other one. Of course, they look different because of the paper underneath, but they are designed in the same manner. So if you'd like to see the other 3 cards that are available in Card Club, they are 3 here. So this is kind of a fun fold. It opens up this way and then down this way. Lots of different layers there. And then here's another fun fold with a little tiny flap. Okay, and then with a heart punch, I added, this is Misty Moonlight on the back, and then here's this design as well. So you can go to inspiredbygraham.com to get more information on my monthly card club, and to also see the registration link as well. So if you want any of these products, you can order those through inspiredbygraham.com. Thanks for watching, and you have a great day, and be well.